Hello, welcome to More Yoga with me, Emily. Thank you so much for joining me today. Who knew? Underfloor heating, great way to warm up the yoga mat that you accidentally left in the car overnight and was freezing cold but is now toasty warm. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. I hope you're doing well. I thought that we would do a very simple flow and repeat it a few times. Um, yeah, so kind of like back to basics, but very, very simple. Shouldn't be ultra challenging in terms of the poses. As always, if downward facing dog is, feeling a bit challenging, then hands and knees is a really great alternative, or forearms and toes, which is more challenging but easier on the wrists. So there you go. I like to have blocks to bring the floor up to me underneath my hands. And I also like to have something to kneel on, like a chip foam block or a pillow or something, cushy, so that I don't have to dig my knees into the hard but very warm floor. Okay, let's start in child's pose. So in child's pose, you can either have your knees together and fold over top of your thighs, or you could take your knees wide and then sit your hips back sort of between your heels, or sorry, on top of your heels. And then there's always a really good place to bring a pillow underneath you or between your heels and your bum. Then you could stack your hands underneath your forehead and go wherever feels most comfortable. And then for a few breaths, inhale through your nose. And exhale, sigh your breath away. A couple more. And then continue breathing however feels best for you, whether it's in and out through your nose or your mouth. Notice how your breath is flowing. Maybe it feels a little bit more restricted here in child's pose. Maybe it feels fine. With every inhale, imagine your spine lengthening from your tailbone all the way up to the crown of your head. And with each exhale, feel a gentle softening of your front body toward the earth. So a few more like that. You may need to adjust your position now that gravity has had its chance to work on your body for a little while here. But then settle back into your child's pose for a few more breaths. And if your arms are wrapped around you, gently stretch them out in front of you. And then start to walk your upper body off the left edge of your mat. So coming into a side bend while in child's pose. You can be as deep or as gentle as you want. You could clamp down on top of one hand with the other to get more traction through your spine. And then breathe into the right side of the body, puffing up the ribs. And as you exhale, lengthen your sit bone back toward your heels. And then slowly on your inhale, come back through center and then walk your upper body over off the right edge of your mat. Again, you could clamp down on top of one hand with the other. And then really breathe into the left ribs now. And lengthen your sit bones back toward your heels. And then on your next inhale, come back to center. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up and come to hands and knees. Let's release the compression on the back of the legs. Step one leg out, back behind you, and then the other. And then come to hands and knees. So knees underneath hips, toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever feels best for you today. And then hands outer shoulder width apart or wider. Let's start to move through cat and cow. So as you inhale, lift the tailbone, hollow through the lower back, broaden through your collarbones. Exhale, tuck your tailbone under, round through the spine. Really press the floor away from you. And then inhale, dip into cow. Exhale, round into cat. So a few more of these on your own time, on your own breath, and they can be really soft and gentle, where you can bring a lot of muscular activation into this. A pulling of yourself forward, always dragging yourself forward with your hands in cow, and then a deep pull of belly button to spine on cat. Maybe there's some other movement here that would feel really good. Wag of your tail from side to side, barrel rolls through your chest or shoulders. Last couple breaths here, just to move however you need to move. All right, and then come back to center. If you've moved your hands, make sure that they're nice and wide. They haven't migrated back toward each other. Spread your fingers really wide. Grip the mat with the finger pads. Feel a little pocket in the palm of the hands. This protects your wrists anytime you're bearing weight on your hands. Tuck your toes and either stay here or exhale, lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog. So here you might pedal your heels toward the floor, bending one knee and then the other, getting into those calf muscles. You could wag your tail a little bit from side to side. You could play with coming up onto the fingertips, even on one hand or the other, or both. And then try to find a few breaths of stillness here. Send the weight more into the finger pads and out of the heels of the hands. Hug the upper arm bones toward each other and lengthen your tailbone and your sit bones to where the back wall meets the ceiling. And then bend your knees, look forward. On your exhale, take as many steps as you need to come to the top edge of your mat into your standing forward fold. You could rest your elbows on your knees or thighs if you'd like a little bit more support today. You could bring the floor up to you, bringing blocks underneath your hands. You could clasp opposite elbows with hands to get more traction through your spine. Maybe you sway a little bit from side to side. Maybe you're totally still. A few more breaths wherever you need to be here. All right. And then release your hands. Bring your fingertips to your shins or blocks or the earth. Inhale, little partway lift. Back the neck stays long. Exhale, let it all go. Couple more of those. As you lift up, make sure that your knees don't lock out. And then bend your knees, tuck your chin into your chest slowly as you can. Start to take a few, or start to roll rather, up to standing. Till eventually you come all the way up. Couple loops of your shoulders, up, back, and down, or a little wiggle, noodle, or shake out. Once you're here, feel a little hug of the legs toward each other, tailbone to the earth slightly. Not so much that you're tucking under, but you also don't want to be hanging out in the lumbar spine. Little squeeze of the bum, belly button to spine, shoulder blades on your back. On your inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Maybe follow with your gaze. Exhale, dive or fold down to the earth. Forward fold. Fingertips to shins. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands. So bend your knees enough that the palms can come flat, and then step back to your plank. So the top of a push-up, either from your toes or from your knees. You could always be on your fists or forearms if that's better on your body. And squeeze your bum. Squeeze the tops of the thighs. Press your lower ribs up to the sky. And press the floor away with your hands. One more breath here. And then exhale, come all the way down to the earth. You can always come down to your knees first. Little wiggle of your hips from side to side once you get there. Untuck your toes, press the tops of the feet into the floor, so much so you feel your kneecaps lift away. Send your tailbone to the back wall. Feel your belly button engage toward your spine. Shoulder blades on your back. Inhale, lift your heart forward and up. Baby cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Couple more just like that. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Your hands could hover, or they could come out off the mat. Maybe you press up higher. If so, really press the tops of the feet into the floor and squeeze your bum to protect your lower back. Last breath here. All right, plant your hands, tuck your toes. Exhale, lift up and back into downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. Again, weight more into the fingers and out of the heels of the hands. Hug your upper arm bones toward each other. Bend your knees. Look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of the mat. Standing forward fold. Fingertips to shins. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, right back down to the earth. Forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Plant your hands. Inhale, hop, step, or float back to plank. Exhale, lower all the way or partway to the earth. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of the mat, standing forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. Ooh, I meant to go all the way down. Here we go. Inhale, sweep back up to the sky. Exhale, melt down to the earth, forward fold. Adding on here, inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. On your inhale, step your right leg back, and you can be up or down for your lunge. And then inhale, come up to lunge, just for a couple breaths. And then exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, inhale, step back, flow, or downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose, shoulders over wrists, hips high. Inhale, back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to right armpit or elbow, hips high. Inhale, back up. Exhale, draw the knee across to the opposite side. Inhale, back up. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose and pause. Press the floor away from you. And then exhale, step your right foot to your thumb. Back knee could be up or down. Inhale, come up for a lunge for a few breaths this time so you can shake it out. Go off alignment. Release whatever you would like to release. But then start to sink into the hips. Really squeeze the bum on the back leg, regardless if the knee is down or lifted. And if you float your arms up to the sky, make sure you chill out on the shrug muscles. Couple breaths here. Now grab hold of the sky with your right hand as you exhale. Sweep your left hand to the earth, twist to the front knee. Make sure the bottom shoulder isn't jutting forward though. Wrap it onto your back. You might stay here. You might take big sweeping shapes with the top arm. And then on your exhale, plant your hands. And then we're going to tuck the back toes and step forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, right back down to the earth, forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. On your inhale, step your left leg back. Back knee could be up or down. Inhale, come up to lunge for a couple breaths, not too long. And then exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back, flow, or downward facing dog. Hands nice and wide. And on your inhale, lift your left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over wrists, hips high. Inhale, back up. Exhale, left knee to left armpit or elbow, hips high. Inhale, back up. Exhale, draw the knee across to the right. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee comes to nose, and then pause. Can you lift up your hips a little bit higher? And then exhale, step your left foot to your thumb, back knee could be up or down, and then inhale, come up to lunge again, shake it out, go off alignment, but then start to settle into your lunge. Whether or not the back knee is lifted, squeeze the bum on the back leg, and then maybe float your arms up to the sky. Couple breaths here. Chill out on the shrug muscles. And then grab hold of the sky with your left hand. Exhale. Sweep your right hand to the earth, twist to the front knee. Again, wrap both shoulders onto your back. You could take big shapes with that top arm if you wish, or be still. Last breath here. Exhale, plant your hands, tuck your back toes. Inhale, step forward, standing forward fold. Fingertips to shins, inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, right back down to the earth. Forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands, step back, flow, or downward facing dog. All right, on your inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your right foot to your right thumb. Back knee stays high this time. Inhale, come up for high lunge. You can always start with the back knee bent and then wrap the outer left hip forward as you draw the outer right hip back, but then start to supercharge your back leg towards straight. It might not get there. Squeeze the bum, squeeze the top of the thigh, and again, float the arms up to the sky. Same thing we did on that first time. Grab hold of the sky with the right hand. Exhale, sweep the left hand to the earth. As soon as we twist, we forget about that back leg. So work it towards straight. Again, if you want to take big windmills, you may. And then plant your right hand, step back, flow, or downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your left foot to your thumb, back knee stays up, and then inhale, come up, high lunge. Again, you can start with the back knee bent a little bit, wrap the outer right hip forward, outer left hip back, belly bend to spine, and then start to supercharge the back leg towards straight, squeeze the bum, squeeze the top of the thigh, maybe sink a little bit deeper into the front knee, you don't have to, and then grab hold of the sky with your left hand. Exhale, sweep the right hand to the earth, working that back leg the whole time. Maybe you take big shapes here, or maybe you're still. Last breath. All right, plant your left hand, step back, flow, or downward facing dog. One more round with a little bit of an add-on at the end. So on your inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, step your right foot to your thumb. Back knee stays high. Inhale, come up, high lunge. Grab hold of the sky with your right hand. Exhale, sweep the left hand to the earth. Okay, hug the legs toward each other, belly bend to spine. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, hands to prayer, lean forward on a long line. And on your inhale, start to float the back leg high for warrior three. Now your knee could be deeply bent. You could have hands on blocks, or maybe you're floating the leg wherever you are. Flare the toes on the lifted foot so your brain can find it in space. Woo! And then reach it further back behind you. So your heel and the crown of your head reaching in opposite directions. And then exhale, step to standing forward fold. Fingertips to shins, inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands, step back, flow, or downward facing dog. All right, on your inhale, lift your left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your left foot to your thumb. Again, back knee can stay high. And then inhale, come up to high lunge. Get all those activations going, and then grab hold of sky with your left hand. Exhale, sweep your right hand to the earth. And then charge your legs. Inhale, come all the way back up. Bring your hands to prayer. Lean forward on that long line. And then on your inhale, float the back leg up. Right? You might just teeter-totter in and out of warrior three. You might bring hands to blocks. Your bottom knee could be deeply bent, but wrap the outer hip back. Flare the toes on the lifted foot. And then exhale, step into your standing forward fold. Well done. Little sway or bounce. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Two more, just like that. And then bend your knees, plant your hands. On your inhale, step back to plank. And then exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. Little wiggle of the hips from side to side. Untuck your toes. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. Tailbone to the back wall. Belly button to spine. Inhale. Reach your heart forward and up. Baby cobra. Now pause here. Wrap your shoulder blades onto your back. You might stay here. You might reach your arms back along behind you. Palms up or down. Or maybe you clasp your hands behind your back. Some of you might stay here. Some of you might reach your toes so far back that your feet, your legs start to de-weight as well. Reach your fingertips, your toes back even more. And then exhale, release all the way down to the earth. One cheek to the floor. Deep belly breaths to release through the lower back. And then roll over to your back. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling sweaty. All right. Let's move into a figure four stretch. So cross your right ankle over top of your left thigh. Again, this might be enough for you. You could deepen it by bringing a block under the left foot, or maybe you draw your legs toward you. Make sure this ankle isn't crossed off of the thigh, right? You want it right on the thigh. You could take a little rock from side to side. You might bind behind the back of that left thigh. But then try to find a place where you can feel the release on the outer right hip. But try not to generate tension elsewhere. So if you're kind of gripping through the neck and shoulders, back out of those areas and then find a different bind so that you can really just release tension. Last couple breaths here. All right, and then unwind your legs, release or shake out, whatever feels best on your body. And then we'll switch sides. So left ankle crosses over top of the right thigh now. And then you might stay here, or you might start to deepen the stretch. However feels best for you, whether it's a block underneath your foot, or maybe if you have a strap, you could bring it behind the right leg. You could rock a little bit from side to side. And then pause for a few breaths. With each exhale, imagine that you're releasing a little bit more tension into those muscles, into the fascia. And then gently unwind your legs, shake them out. And then the last thing before our rest will be a twist. So draw your knees into your chest, little rock from side to side. And take your right arm out to the side. You might shift your hips right a little bit. And then exhale, lower your knees to the left. You can take any variation of twist that you'd like to, whether the knees are stacked, maybe a single leg twist, or cross legs, wherever you need to go. But let it be somewhere that you can be at ease, so that the feet rest on the earth. You don't need to hover it out here. And then inhale, return to center, reset your pelvis and your spine. Maybe shift your hips left a little bit to start with, left arm out to the side. And then exhale, lower your knees to the right. And again, as gentle or as deep of a twist as you need. And it doesn't have to be the same variation on this side that you did on the first. Last few breaths here. And then on your inhale, return to center. If there's anything else you feel like you need before your rest, maybe a happy baby or some sort of spinal flexion or extension, feel free to take it. Otherwise, start to make your way into your final resting pose. You could be flat on your back, legs bent or straight in Shavasana. You could rest on your side or in child's pose or in a seated meditation. And there's no rush to get there. But once you have found your pose of rest, for 3 breaths, inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh your breath away. Couple more. And then let go of your breath control. Notice if you're holding any last muscle gripping or tension, particularly in the face, neck, or jaw. With each exhale, let your body melt a little bit deeper into the earth. And take a moment to thank yourself for coming here today, for giving yourself this time on the mat to move and to breathe, and for your wonderful body for moving and breathing for you. Stay here longer if you can, 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.